Now, I'm going to show you a really, really simple time budget. This is what we used first up ever. It is simply a list of items. Now, guys, we had some issues with clarity on Zoom last week. Can I just get people, putting in their comments if they can see this clearly enough? Like, can you make out words, columns? If I was to type something in here and go, put it in capitals, can you read this?
You might need to zoom in a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barely. Gilby, yes, only just. All right. What I'm going to do is start moving things around so I can be seeing them while I'm talking. So I'll zoom in on. I'll give you an overview first of what it looks like, and then we'll zoom into each section. So this is what it looks like as an overview. What we're going to have is at the top there's an address, and then down here is each item. So if it was a frame, it might be ground floor, walls. It might be posies, etc. And you put each one in there. All right. Across the top is blank dates, cumulative total and blank dates. So we'll look at those in a sec. Over here is a sum of the total man hours and then the target man hours. So you would see this as going, right, the ground floor walls, they might have 20 hours. Posies, they might have 20 hours. It's in there and they can see it. Now, each day, this is in the early days, this was printed out. We literally printed this whole thing out as an A3 page and we put it in a folder for them. Each day they would come here and they would fill in the date at the top. So, they'd go today, 23rd of December. And they would go, right, the reason it's cut in half like that, let me see if I can just make this a bit smaller, is that they would come and go, right, in the top left-hand corner, they would write, okay, 2 of us worked on there for 12 hours, and they'd write 12 up there. Down here, they would write, okay, we spent the other 4 hours on posies. The bottom corner was designed to be the cumulative total, and it's hard because I can't actually show you that on there because I can't write on it there. But if that makes sense, you would write there and then some total here. So if it was 12 and then 4, then that added up to 16. So just gave them a running total, and it gave them today's hours and the total hours added up. If the job went for more than 2 weeks, because there were 10, or I think 11 or 12, let's see. Anyway, there was enough there for an average fortnight cycle, and that might have included 2 Saturdays. At the end of the fortnight, these would be collected, and they would start a new one, and they would carry over their total hours to there. So all it was a really simple way for them to record at the end of the day where they did their hours on what tasks. So if you had 20 different tasks there, or 5 or 3 or 6, whatever it is, however many tasks you've got, you simply go, right, what did we work on today, boys? And boys and girls, what did we work on today, guys? What is it that we did? And down the bottom, it was, because these first ones, so I'm going to take you through some evolutionary steps of them today, but I'm trying to start with the simpler ones. And this is a great one to show it all in one. This was what we could use as a timesheet each day. So if you had name, they would simply enter their name and go, right, I've lost my toolbar. And they'd go, yep, it's Craig. Right, how many hours did you do? Oh, today I did, 9 hours. Right, who else did I have with me? I had Maddie. Right, today she did 9 hours as well. And I can then add it up. It adds, on here it's adding it up to 18. So you can see this has already evolved to the point where they could use it on a tablet because it shows this little total down there. Right, you've done 18 hours today. It's in red because you haven't recorded 18 hours up here. So if I said, right, I would do this on a tablet and I'd go, yep, cool, what have we done today? I'd go 23rd of the 12th, 21. It doesn't like the size, but that's all right. 23rd of the 12th. It's there, that's all that matters. I'm not going to worry about formatting now. And I went, right, I've done, Maddie and I worked on ground floor walls and we did 16 hours on there. and then we did, we did 14 hours on there, and then we did 2 hours on the posies, and then we knocked off. It's going to go, wrong, 16, 18, doesn't add up. So you go, oh, right, okay. They go back up and they go, oh, maybe we did 15 on there and 3 on there, and then the sheet goes normal. And they can go, oh, right, okay, yes, you've got your hours allocated, so they're signed off, and you've allocated all of those hours that you worked today to a task. Is that making sense? Anyone want to unmute and ask any questions on this?
So I'm sure you're going to get to it, Craig, but is there software or apps that sort of you can get these systems going in rather than using a spreadsheet?
They're to an extent, yes and no. So we haven't found, there's not one bit of software that does it all exactly the way we want it.
Yeah.
So we don't, for example, use these hours down the bottom anymore. We were using Deputy, and that's simply linked in because they went, right, we knew exactly how many hours the guys were doing each day. And then we got the team leader to update it at the end. We haven't found one that says, here's exactly where you can have the hours live and then you allocate them somewhere, because I've never found another business that does it quite like this. So, but like anything, I think, Xero is a really powerful tool. It doesn't do everything. Deputy's great, doesn't do everything. You always, unless you code it yourself or have a program for your company specifically, you're always going to have to adapt it a bit. We are looking for the best solution that we're going to have. We're looking and partnering with a team who will provide VAs specifically for this stuff, for guys who've gone through our program. And we're getting them to explore how we can best integrate it, everything. I'm not sure that's Morgan or Nicholas who's just pumped in that Build a Trend does something similar to this. So we are looking at them as to where we do it. But the answer is for now, what I'm going to do is show you the basics, and then if we can find it, and Tom's saying Tradify, that does 95% of it, and you've got to do a bit of the rest, we'll use or recommend that and show you how it works. We never did. We never found one solution, and we looked a lot. And we engaged IT companies and paid them a bucket load to try and tie everything in together. We actually looked at programming our own for a while there. So the answer for now is no. I'm going to show you it very manually, like everything at every stage manually from the basics, so you got the understanding. And then I'll show you as we progress how we brought it together to be as coordinated as possible. And like everything, we'll keep looking for a better solution.